Hello. So when you come into the file, you'll see something like this. If you know how to use Blender, then great, but if you don't, I'll just give you a little rundown. Middle mouse scroll wheel, if you click and hold down, you can move around. Same thing, if you hold shift, you can pan around. Zooming in and out is just scrolling. And with those three things, you can navigate to the viewport. Now, if you go around the back, you'll see that this one is the one with the writing on it. We want to add text on the front. So what you do is you press Shift A and you click onto text over here. It shows up like that. Then you click the tab button on your keyboard just above caps lock. You click tab and you delete whatever you want to delete, and then you type in whatever you want to type in. I don't know how to spell Confucius. Things like that. That's if that's what you want, then that's what you write. Don't worry about the size right now, you can always change the size afterwards. You click on this little green A, you come up with this control panel. If you click regular, and it's gonna select a font, but you can't actually select any fonts. So what you have to do is you have to click this button over here, and it won't, if you have installed the font, it would be here, but if it's not, then you go into the actual font file, the installer, and select that one, and then click open, and then that will now open this font as whatever you set it. I find it helpful to make the alignment to the center and also the vertical alignment to the center as well. Now that this is how it is, I press tab again to exit out of the edit mode, and I line it up with the front of this. So I want to rotate it, so I press R for rotate, and I press X for the X-axis, and I just type in 90 to make it 90 degrees. Same with the Z-axis, so R and then Z and then 90. And then I want to look at it dead on from the front, so I just press 1. Actually, no, I press 3. Usually when you press 1, it's from the front, but nevertheless, it's fine. So you press 3 and it goes into the side or slash front view, and then you just press G to move it around, and then you can move it around and try line it up to wherever you want it, and you press S to scale it down. So something like this is good, something like this. Now obviously it's really far away, so you press G and then X to move it in closer, and then you just line it up, you move it around, see how it goes, GX to line it up, and to move it pretty close but not too close. And then you go right click on the text, convert to mesh, and now it's a mesh. So now you can't change anything. So now if you press tab, it'll just give you the vertices and the lines and all that sort of stuff. It won't actually give you anything to edit. So I'm going to press GX just to move it out a little bit, so there's some distance, there's a gap, and then press tab, A to select everything, and then E to extrude it out along the Z-axis. So I extrude it a little bit. Now it looks like this. I press tab again to exit out, so now it's solid. Now I can press G and then X to see how far in I want it to go. So I want it to go in this far, let's say. So I want it to go in this far, so I make that stay there. Then I click this bigger main card part. I go over to the side, click this little wrench, add modifier, and you want to add boolean. Now you click this little eyedropper tool and select the text and make sure it's difference, and then it shouldn't look like it's doing anything, but if you go into the wireframe view, you'll see that there is something going on here where it's doubling up the geometry. So that's what you want. Now if you go back onto your solid view, you can go into here and click apply, and what that will do is that'll burn it in. So now you can't change anything about it. Now you have this text, you can press H for hide, and you won't see anything. That's because you haven't deleted the surface faces. So now you go into this big object, you press tab on your keyboard, and you'll see this. Now you just go and select all the faces, so you just shift click to select, and if you're not on face selection, then you just click this button over here. So this is edges, vertices, and faces. So you just go through all your you just go through all your objects and you see which part you want to indent. So that's what I'm selecting right now, like that. You press X to delete, and you select only faces, and now it's indented. Now if you press tab again, it'll be indented like this. You go into your rendered view, and that's what you get. If you want to change the material of this, you can just press tab and you can just select one of the surfaces and it'll automatically go to that material selector, and then that way you can change whatever you want in that material. Once you're happy, you just press tab again and you can still keep changing the material, but yeah, so that's how you change the material, that's how you indent it. And you'll notice that now, since I've done this, I can't actually change anything. So if I wanted to, I can't move this U elsewhere unless I, unless I select it, and even then it's pretty messy. So there's not really any clean way to move it around, other than just something like that. But then that will mess it up. So you have to do it pretty precisely first, like obviously from the beginning. And a helpful tip that I've realized once, like while I'm working with your thing over here, is if you press 7 and go into the top view, the positioning in which it is the most easiest to work with is around frame 30, where it's completely straight, because you'll notice that if you import the text, everything is aligned on the grid. So you can only, it's best practice to only move it 90 degrees at a time in whichever way you want. But once you burn it in, then it will obviously move with the mesh. Let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, good luck.